Landon, guess who it is? It's Grandpa! It's book time. You want to read another book? I've got another Halloween book. What's coming up? Is Halloween coming, Landon? Depending upon when you watch this, it very well might be. So we have a book about pumpkins or jack-o'-lanterns, depending upon how you want to refer to them. All right, Too Many Pumpkins. All right. Oh, it's a big book, lots of writing. Every year at springtime, Rebecca Estelle planted just enough seeds in her garden to grow vegetables for the long winter. She planted carrots and beans, tomatoes and peas and corn and rutabagas. She grew a little bit of everything except pumpkins. Do you know what a rutabaga is? I'm not sure. Rebecca Estelle hated pumpkins. Who hates pumpkins? Come on, that's crazy. When she was a little girl, money had been scarce. For an entire month, all there had been to eat were pumpkins. Do you ever eat pumpkins, Landon? Baked pumpkins, steamed pumpkins, boiled pumpkins, stewed pumpkins, mashed pumpkins, rotten pumpkins, breakfast pumpkins, lunch pumpkins, dinner pumpkins, enough pumpkins. When things finally improved and there was more money to buy food, Rebecca Estelle decided she would never again eat pumpkins or even look at one, not ever. And she didn't until, look at all these pumpkin things. There's pumpkin pie, there's pumpkin soup, there's another pumpkin pie, I guess. Splat! See it? Splat! An enormous pumpkin tumbled off the truck and smashed into slimy orange smithereens all over the edge of her yard. Come back here and get this pumpkin, she yelled, but the driver sped away. Look at all those pumpkin guts, Landon, and Estelle is not happy. I'm trying to turn the page, struggling. There we go. All right. So there she goes. She's going out to work in her garden. Well, I won't touch it, Rebecca Estelle insisted, getting her shovel from the barn. And I won't look at it, she added as she shoveled dirt on top of the pumpkin pieces. I won't think about that pumpkin ever again. And she didn't until... Well, come on, Landon. We know what happens if you put dirt on seeds, don't we? There's spring came to her garden. What a pretty little garden hat she's got there. Spring, when Rebecca Estelle was admiring the new sprouts in her garden, she noticed Esmeralda playing in some big green leaves growing at the edge of the yard. See them? Big green leaves? And there's her cat, Estelle. Rebecca Estelle remembered the pumpkin truck and the slimy pumpkin smithereens. Pumpkin, she cried in disgust. Come out of there, Esmeralda. I will not water those plants. I will not tend them. I will ignore them and they will die. She picked up Esmeralda and stomped inside. But a week later, when Rebecca Estelle peered out her window, she saw that the vines had grown. So here she goes, going crazy. She tramped to the barn, got her garden tools, and went to work on the pumpkin vines. She cut and dug until not one was left growing. There, now there will be no pumpkins. She smiled and went back inside. But the next week, when she was weeding the garden, she noticed that pumpkin vines had grown back. Rebecca Estelle marched inside and snapped the curtains shut. The only thing to do is ignore them. They won't grow if I don't care of them, she muttered. So rain or shine, all spring and summer, she never looked at the front window. She used only the back door and never even once glanced toward the vines. Neither did Esmeralda. There she is in her kitchen getting her groceries and stuff, I guess. You like pumpkins, don't you, Landon? Yeah. Ooh, here's a pretty picture. Rebecca Estelle ignored the vines so well that in time she forgot why she wasn't using the front door until one autumn day when she and Esmeralda went to rake the leaves that fell each fall from the black walnut tree in front of the house. There they are. She's going to rake the thing, and there's Esmeralda going along with her. And Grandpa's having a hard time turning the pages. Oh my goodness, look at all those pumpkins in her front yard. Pumpkins! As Rebecca Estelle shrieked. Pumpkin vines had twined under the bushes, over the bird bath, through the porch rails, and onto one of the rocking chair. The entire yard was a sea of plump, round pumpkins. Rebecca Estelle could no longer ignore them. She plopped down on the pumpkin nearest her, putting her hands over her face. Why, whatever will I do, Esmeralda? She cried. How will I get rid of these many pumpkins? She thought and thought. Her mind went back to all the pumpkins she had eaten as a young girl, when pumpkins were the only food her family had. Have you ever seen so many pumpkins, Landon? There's tons of them. Well, we can't let them stay here, she told Esmeralda. Some people might need those pumpkins, and I suppose there are folks crazy enough to like them. We will give them away. She marched off to get her wheelbarrow. Rebecca Estelle struggled to lift the first pumpkin, then the second and the third. She huffed and she puffed as she wheeled the loaded wheelbarrow into the lane. I'm too tired to deliver these heavy pumpkins now, Rebecca Estelle grumbled. She mopped her brow with her apron and wondered what to do next. Perhaps if I make them into pies, it will be easier to deliver. Such a nuisance. Look at that pile of pumpkins. Look at it. How's she ever going to push that thing? There's all corn. See that? Those are corn plants. So she went to work. She scooped the slimy seeds out of the pumpkin and cut away the shells. After she boiled the pumpkin meat, she mixed it with eggs, milk, sugar, flour, cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves to make rich pies. Then Rebecca Estelle made pumpkin tarts, pumpkin muffins, pumpkin cakes, pumpkin bread, pumpkin pudding, pumpkin cookies. See all those? Looks kind of nummy, huh? Until, look at all those pumpkins in her kitchen. Pumpkin dishes spilled out of every cupboard, drawer, and cubbyhole, and the seeds were a mountain in the corner. Look at all those pumpkin seeds. Look at them. Look at all the pumpkin stuff in her kitchen. Well, that's the first batch, Rebecca Estelle said, dusting her floury hands. Now to deliver them. She put the wheelbarrow outside the kitchen door, then loaded it with pumpkin treats. When it was full, just the thought of delivering all those pumpkin dishes made Estelle tired. If only people would come get them, she said. Then she had an idea. Rebecca Estelle whirled around and hurried back into the house for a kitchen knife. This should get the people to come, Rebecca Estelle cried. Oh, guess what she did? She made jack-o'-lanterns. She took the knife and sat in the middle of the pumpkin patch. She carved a smiling face on a nice round pumpkin, a scary snaggletooth face on a tall, thin pumpkin, and Boo on a short, squat pumpkin. She was so busy carving pumpkins she hardly noticed how dark it was getting. Then, when she could no longer see, she went to the shelf on the back porch and got the sack of candles she kept for her emergencies. If this doesn't get people to come here, we'll have to deliver all of them all ourselves, she muttered to Esmeralda. What's she doing there, Landon? I think she's putting her light bulbs up, I guess. Oh, goodness, look at all those. She carved all those. That's a lot of jack-o'-lanterns. Rebecca Estelle peered into the darkness for a long time. She didn't see anything. Still, she watched until, finally, she saw a light. Faint at first, and then brighter, and then more lights bobbing through the night. Hey, here they come, she said. Esmeralda, let's heat some apple cider. Well, she's quite the very nice trick-or-treat hostess. Oh, goodness, look at all the people in her kitchen now, eating all that pumpkin stuff. Young and old, everyone in town came. Rebecca Estelle, we thought you hated pumpkins, they said. We saw your jack-o'-lanterns from the end of the road and came for a closer look. I was hoping you would, said Rebecca Estelle. Where did you ever find all of these pumpkins, people asked. I came by them quite by accident, Rebecca Estelle said, smiling. Would you like some pumpkin pie? There's plenty. She winked at Esmeralda. Everyone enjoyed the pumpkin pie and cider and had a good time. So did Rebecca Estelle. And when they were ready to go home, she made sure each carried a jack-o'-lantern, a bag of seeds for roasting, and a pumpkin treat. Rebecca Estelle gave away everything that reminded her of pumpkins she had always hated, until... that all that remained was a handful of seeds. She tucked those snugly into her pocket where they would be safe until planting next spring. What do you think? I think she doesn't hate pumpkins anymore because it made her friends with the city people. Well, that was Too Many Pumpkins, and I hope you liked it. And you know that Grandpa loves you, and I'll see you next time.